Hi, hello everyone. Today we speak about ecstasy, which is an altered state of consciousness that the shaman reaches in a journey of non-duality to go along the bridge between visible and invisible, go in touch, make a connection with the spirits, find the answers that are needed for the healing process, coming back and bring support and healing to the person that is in need of this help and these changes. And how do we reach ecstasy? This is something that the trance state is one of the most important elements, together with the storytelling and the offer in the shamanic path. It's something that doesn't mean taking drugs or particular substances. Is absolutely something very easy that can be reached, first of all, in an easy way through particular techniques of breath, for example. So we can do the one technique can be the fire breath, which is a breath that is done using our mouth and our nose at the same time. You may have found something similar in Hatha Yoga when we are doing the fire breath or breath of fire, inhaling and exhaling from the nose. But in this case, shamanically, we use the mouth first of all because we are having more oxygen coming in. And then also because it's a way to distract the mind, is a way literally to burn the mind that wants always to be present, that wants to take over and doesn't allow us to start this journey of the soul into the darkness, in the things that we cannot see. So the fire breath is simply done in this way, inhaling twice from your nose and exhaling once from your mouth. And at the same time, placing your belly inside. So it can also be easy if you place a hand over your belly. So it would be something like that. Of course, by doing that for several amount of time, you will start have tingling or discomfort in your nose, simply because it's something that we are not used. And our mind will start saying, what are you doing? It's annoying, it's burning, but it's literally a way of burning the mind, of burning all the thoughts. So we need to do that for at least 10-15 minutes. So it's what produces the trance is the repetition of something. Then we can also have and use other ways of breathing, which could be the circular breath. So with your mouth slightly open and deep, and breathing inside and outside in a quite quick and intense way. And a similar way of breathing would be the breath of awareness. So the same exact things, but just a little bit slower. So it would be the same movement, but a little bit slower. Then we can also use a fragmentic breath, which is always with our mouth open, inhaling, let's say, for 2 or 3 times, and exhaling for the same amount of times. Let's say we are inhaling for 3 times and exhaling for 3 times as well at the same time. And these are very, very, very easy way to reach ecstasy. The most effective one is the fire breath. The following breath can be used like in a downgrade time, when we're simply slowing down and we are just giving a break, but we are keeping our level of fire inside of activation alive. So we are keeping active, so that then, of course, the work that will come afterwards, or the journey that we are going to do, will be coming from our soul and not from our mind. Then we can reach ecstasy through the micro movement that are repeated. You may have seen shamans, like, for example, moving their hands in a repeated way. That would be like the Queen Salutation, and doing that again in repeated movements for a good amount of minutes. Or it can be reached through the rapid eyes movements, or it can be reached through at least 20 minutes of tapping on the high marmans. So the tapping would just basically be using your fingers and tapping starting from the third eye and then moving below your eyes, over your mouth, over your lips, on your chin, on your throat, in your chest, and under your shoulders, and moving back and forwards again and again and again is another way that can be the gentle way to reach ecstasy. Or another way, which is the way that of course we probably all like the most, is the one using the drum. So it would be the vibration of the drum. Before using the drum, normally we would start with a process that is called the hollow bone. So it would be using the rattle. There can be a variety of rattles. This one is a fire rattle that comes from Scotland. We can have another one which is Native American. This one is African. With little shells. So there are a variety of rattles that are used, and this has the power to take our attention back here to the present moment. It's just like slowing down and going back here to the present moment. And this is just an introduction that we would use to take the time before taking a journey to concentrate on our intention of the journey. So what are we going to journey to what are we going, what will be the purpose of our journey, what do we want to ask the spirits. And of course, the way of starting the journey, the way of doing the journey will be to the drum. The drum is an amazing instrument because it has a lot of benefits. Also scientifically, it has the power to allow us ourselves to produce less stress, to calm down the heart, the brain. It has the same effect of when we are dreaming and there is a change of waves from beta to alpha, and we are simply allowing our brain to reach the same effect of when we are meditating. So at the beginning of a journey, we need of course to say that in shamanism, the world is divided into 3 worlds. So we have a lower world, a middle world, and an upper world. The lower world is normally considered the world of nature, where we would find animals, when we would find spirits that are connected with nature. Then we have the middle world, which is the world where we are right now, for example. And we would journey to the middle world for practical reasons, like to find an object that we have lost. And then we have the upper world, which we normally identify like the sky, with the sky, where we can find a variety of guides, of teachers, of spirits, of angels, of ancestors, of another forms. And the way of entering this world, we normally would start from the lower world, and we would journey to go and find our animal of power animal, which would be our first ally to start our shamanic adventure in general. And the way of starting our journey would be the so-called axis mundi. So we would imagine, like the anthropologist Michael Harner was saying, we would imagine physically an entrance, like a cave or a tree or a hole in the earth, maybe a place that we have already seen in the past in reality, and we would imagine ourselves entering into this hole, and then of course being in the darkness for some time, which would be the time of the drumming. So normally we start with not longer than 10 minutes. And then of course, by listening to the drum, to the beat, slowly we would come out from the cave, from this place of darkness, which is the place of the soul, which is the journey of the soul, because the soul has to enter this state of darkness, but the mind doesn't want that. The mind always tells us that we need a light, that we need to see. But this is only an attempt of the mind to manipulate. It is an attempt of the mind to have control, to make us governable, like the system is doing with us nowadays. And so the way of the mind to allow us to go out from the darkness, it would be to send us fear, to send us a variety of feelings like sadness, to avoid us the darkness, because in the darkness we have the opportunity of evolution, we have the opportunity of development, of discovering, while if we stay in the light, we only see what they want us to see, but we are not in touch with our deepest part, with what would be the so-called part of our mind, which is the subtle line, the subtle threshold between visible and invisible, between the unknown and the known, between life and death. And it's only through going through an inner death that then we can have the opportunity of rebirth and coming back and restart a life with a new light that is only an inner light. That's why one of the main meaning of the word shaman in the Siberian meaning that has been identified is the one who sees in the darkness. That's why normally when we would do a shamanic journey, it would be easier to do it with a blindfold, so that we are not tempted to open our eyes and try to control and try to see, but we just simply would allow ourselves to let go and trust what the soul is trying to communicate to us.